Hello, dear friend. Good morning or good evening, depending on the which location you are going to watch this tutoring. All right, my name is Mr. Z. I am your math coach. Today, we will learn about a simple dosage calculation. What you have to understand is as someone that want to become a healthcare practitioner, you will deal with different kind of medication. Sometimes the doctor can prescribe something to you, but what you have in your hand is different from what the doctor prescribed. Example, if the doctor go ahead prescribe for you Tylenol 500 milligram, the doctor say go ahead and give someone, the doctor prescribe Tylenol 500 milligram. All right, so the only thing you have in your hand, it's Tylenol, let's say 1000 milligram. But the doctor wants you to give a 500 milligram, but you do not have a 500 milligram with you. So you need to figure out what will be the correct amount you have to give to your patient. If by any mistake you don't pay attention, where you can give your patient either a lot of medication that can hurt the patient, or you can give less medication that will not be therapeutic. So we will learn today the simple dosage calculation. The goal for this session is at the end, you are able to solve simple dosage calculation by using formula method. We will cover that. All right, so you need to go get yourself a cup of coffee, get yourself paper, get yourself calculator. So these session is for someone that have already been in school, they have learned some kind of dosage calculation. Now he's trying to get some refresh. He's trying to understand. He's trying to master some skill on how to resolve some solve some simple dosage calculation question. As I say, get yourself your calculator. You need to have a pen. You need to have some paper, and you need to get yourself some cup of coffee. This is not a place where you come for 2 minutes and you get out of here. No, 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 no. This is a place you will come and you're gonna learn. We will spend the time. We're gonna do at least 30 exercise together. All right. All right. So let's move on. It's a beautiful day on the Sunday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as well. At the end of this chapter, you do have to understand principle that lay a foundation on how you can administer medication. At the end of this session, you will learn how to use a basic formula to solve dosage calculation. All right? And this is what I want you to be able to accomplish at the end of this session. Why does this calculation matter? Why? Why, Mr. Z, why do we have to learn doses calculation? As I said earlier, you got to make sure to ensure patient safety. If the doctor will go ahead and prescribe Tylenol 650 milligram, say give Tylenol 650 milligram, and the medication you have in your hand, what is available to you is a Tylenol 325 milligram. How you will do that? How would you give to someone that has been prescribed Tylenol 325 milligram and you have only 650 milligram? Or how would you give someone Tylenol 650 milligram that was prescribed but in your hand, you have only Tylenol 325. So you gotta make sure the patient is safe. This is the main goal for you as a future nurse practitioner or nurse provider or LVN or nurses, or you are already working in the nursing field. One of your job is to make sure you assure patient safety. You gotta make sure that you keep your patient safe by everything that you do. And the other one is to reduce med error. A med error is what? Is when you don't carry out the doctor order has how it has been prescribed. If they prescribe someone to get Tylenol of 325 milligram, and you have only Tylenol 650, so you understand you're gonna give half of the tablet. But if you go in, instead of giving half of a tablet, you went ahead and give someone the whole tablet of Tylenol 650, you have done med error. So you have given a lot of medication. So today's goal is to make sure at the end of the chapter you learn how you can easily prescribe a medication. We will learn, as we said earlier, we're going to solve a lot of those questions by use a simple dosage calculation formula. All right. So in the case, as we learned earlier, the doctor prescribed 650 milligram or the doctor prescribed 25 milligram. So what we're going to learn here is going to be a simple formula, which is dosage. What we're going to learn here is going to be a simple dosage calculation. So 1 second, let's see. Those technology sometimes are not your friend. Let's figure out something. There we go. So we're going to learn a simple dosage formula, which is going to be dosage equal the dosage that has been ordered. All right. So we're going to use what has been ordered. All right. We're going to divide that by what is available. All right. And then you're going to multiply that by quantity. Remember, whenever you're dealing with any solid form of medication, your quantity always going to be 1. Example, Tylenol 650 milligram, Tylenol 325 milligram. So it means the quantity is 1. It means 1 tablet of what tablet for Tylenol has 325 milligram. All right. So anytime you're dealing with the solid form of medication, tablet or caplet or capsule, anything that you're dealing, as long as it's not liquid, the quantity always will be 1. And when you're dealing with a liquid form of medication, your quantity, it will be expressed by milliliter. So you will have to deal with the dose that has been ordered. You will deal with the dose that is available, and you will deal with your quantity. In this example that we just learned, I say, well, the doctor prescribed Tylenol 325 milligram. The doctor say, give your baby 1 tablet of Tylenol 325 milligram. The doctor say, well, give that maybe the doctor say QID. All right, QID, it means 4 times a day. It means you're gonna give the baby 325 milligram of Tylenol 4 times a day. It does not mean you give all of them at one time. They say throughout the day, within the 24-hour period, the baby or your kid has to get the Tylenol 4 times a day. But the problem is what you have in your hands, in your home, or what the pharmacy is selling only come with 650 milligram. All right. So that what the doctor ordered, 325 milligram. What you have available is 650 milligram. So, but what is the quantity? The quantity always going to be one. It means what? One tablet of 650 milligram, 650, one tablet has a 650 milligram inside. So that's what you have in your hand. How do you solve this? By using the simple dosage calculation formula. So as you learn, dosage is going to be order. So which one is your order? Well, your order is a 325 milligram. Which one is available? Available is what you have in your hand. What you have in your hand is 650 milligram. Remember, we say quantity always going to be one. So one tablet. All right. With any solid form of medication, quantity always going to be one. So if you look at this thing right here, you're going to see milligram and milligram will cancel out. So the only thing, get your calculator, going to have a 325 divided by 650. You will have a 0.5 tablet. So in this example right there, you will have a 0.5 tablet. It means you're going to have half tablet. Do not express half tablet as a fraction. 1 divided by 2. Do not express that as a fraction. 0.5 tablet. All right. So it means you will give a half tablet. Sometimes you will give a medication. They're going to ask you to give find the volume. And we will go over that in a few seconds. So remember, your simple dosage calculation formula, it will be dosage, all right, equal what? Equal order divided by what is available, multiply that by quantity. Anytime you're dealing with the liquid form of medication, your quantity is going to be expressed as a milliliter. But as we are learning now, I want to expand your knowledge so you can know where this formula of a dosage calculation came from. For your own govern, I want you to remember the master formula is dosage multiplied by available equal order multiplied by quantity. This is the master formula I want you to remember, because this it will save you time as we're going to learn about infusion rate using a simple dosage calculation. So in this instance right here, dosage multiplied by available equal order multiplied by quantity. This is the master formula for anyone that have a basic concept of mathematics. So if I'm looking for dosage, knowing dosage time available equal order time quantity, if I'm looking for dosage, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide both sides. I will divide both sides by available. So once I divide both sides by available, I'm going to have a dosage time available divided by available equal order time quantity divided by available. Dosage time available divided by available, available and available will cancel out. The only thing I will remain with is going to be dosage equal order time quantity divided by available. I want you to remember that, because one day they will ask you. So far, we're going to be solving only for dosage, but there will be a time they will ask you to solve for your order. You will have to know how to get that formula. All right? So let's look at this scenario right here. The doctor prescribed 400 milligram. The available concentration is 200 milligram per 5 milliliter. Well, this is something that we just learned right now. We say your dosage is going to be order time quantity divided by available. I say for any solid form of medication, your quantity is going to be 1. But for a liquid form of medication, a medication that has been dissolved, the quantity will be expressed by milliliter. All right, so let's look at here. Which one, as we just learned right now, the dosage equal what? Order divided by available multiplied by quantity. All right, a doctor prescribed. Anytime you hear the doctor prescribe, the doctor order, or a patient is receiving, or the patient is taking, all of those expressions is gonna express a order for you. So a doctor prescribe a 400 milligram. This right here, 400 milligram right there, is what? That is your order. The concentration is a 200 milligram per 5 milliliter. That one is your available. I say your quantity will be expressed by milliliter. So per 5 ml, the quantity will be 5. You see that? The quantity right there, it will be 5 ml. All right? Now, if they say 200 milligram per ml, the quantity will be 1 because they did not express nothing. So 1 is over there. Per ml, the quantity will be 1 milliliter. Per 10 ml, the quantity is 10 milliliter. Per 3 ml, the quantity is going to be 3 milliliter. Per 5, the quantity will be, that will be your quantity. Now, before you can do anything, remember, you have to do a self-check. The unit for your order and the unit for your available, they have to be within the same strength, the same unit. Over there, I got milligram. Here, I got milligram as well. If over there, I got gram. Here, I got milligram. You will have to convert milligram back to gram or convert to gram to milligram before you can go apply your formula. Once again, I will say that again. I will repeat that again for you to understand. Before you can apply any formula, you got to make sure your order and your available are within the same unit. All right? So, now, in this case, what do we have? Well, which one is your order? Well, you know, your order is what? It's 400 milligram. That's what the doctor prescribed. Which one is available? Your available is 200 milligram. All right? You will multiply this by quantity, and your quantity is what? It's 5 milliliter. So, remember, by doing like that, you get your calculator. You just know that this milligram there and that milligram, you cancel out. You can do 2 ways, even 3. I can do 400 multiply by 5 ml. I got 2,000 milliliter divided that by 200. I will have 10 milliliter. So your volume that you're going to give, it will be 10 milliliter. Or you can do as well, same thing like in my my explanation here. You can find your available, all right? Then you go ahead and divide that by the available concentration. Which one they call a concentration? A concentration is a quantity of medication that has been dissolved in some kind of a fluid, some kind of a liquid. So 200 milligram in 5 ml, that right there, it's what? That right there, it's your concentration. So if you can do 200 divided by 5, it gives you 40. So you can get what the doctor prescribed your order, divided that by 40, you're still going to get the same answer. So you figure out which way you have to go through that. To simplify your life, just go down there, what the doctor prescribed, which is your order, 400 milligram, multiply that by 5 milliliter. All right, multiply by 5 milliliter, you do 400, multiply by 5. All right, then divide that by 200, you will get 10 milliliter. All right, all right. I hope that makes sense. But Mr. Z, can you explain to me the other way around, step number 1? I can. And the other way is to get your order, divided that by concentration. I don't want to push you through this because when we load the infusion rate, it can drive you crazy, but I can explain to you. Okay, so if I have your order, correct? Concentration, I say it's what? Remember that is a division. Yeah. Concentration, it's what? It's your available, correct? Divided by your quantity. In that example, which one we have? You know your order right there, it's what? It was a 400 milligram, correct? And divide by available, divided by concentration. I can go ahead, solve this thing right there. Which one is my available? My available is 400, it's 200. Which one is my quantity? My quantity is 5. All right, so from here, dear friend, you let your available right there, it's 200. See that is 200 milligram divided by 5 milliliter. And once you do that, this right here, you will have what we call 40. All right, you're gonna get the 40 milligram per ml. And then once you divide the 400 divided by 40, milligram and milligram, you will cancel out. So you will have 10. It's the same way. All right, it's the same way, dear friend. All right, so, and if you remember about mathematics, right here, this expression here, it's what? You got a number divided by available quantity. This is a fraction, all right? So you're gonna get the number, the whole, which is order. You will multiply that by the fraction. You will have to flip it. So once you flip that one, that's how the quantity go on the top. Then the available, it go in the bottom. So this is right here, go and match that one. Those are mathematics is gonna follow you everywhere. Just remember your dosage calculation, it's your order, time quantity divided by available. All right, so order, time quantity divided by available. All right, So in this example right here we did, the doctor prescribed 400 milligram of medication, but the available that you have is 200 milligram per 5 milliliter. So it means what? 200 milligram is dissolved in 5 ml. But we need to identify what's the quantity it's going to give. The doctor prescribed the medication that got milligram inside. But what you have in your hand, it's a concentration, it's a liquid medication. But that liquid comes in the form of a concentration, which is some kind of milligram dissolved in some kind of fluid. But how can you figure out what will be the quantity that will give to my patient? Well, as I said earlier, you will have your order, what the doctor prescribed, multiply that by the quantity. The quantity is what is expressed, divided out by what is available. All right? So let's do some practice problem. All right, question number 1. Which one is your order? Remember which formula we're going to use. I told you the master formula that I want you to memorize that right now. It's dosage multiplied by available equal order multiplied by quantity. I want you to remember this because as you make your way to learn about infusion rate, right now, nobody's going to ask you to identify your order. Nobody. But pretty soon, as we're making your way to infusion rate, to learn how to prescribe medication through an IV pump or to find what medication you will have to push through an IV, dear friend, many times they will ask you to find a rate of medication. They're going to ask you to identify your order. But if you know how to solve this using your simple dosage calculation formula, you'll do better. If time allows, we will teach you one day how to solve those questions using a dimension analysis. Now, this is your master formula. But since now here you are looking for dosage, well, since I'm looking for dosage, I have to divide both sides by available. And when I divide both sides by available, this available will cancel out your dosage. It's going to be order times quantity divided by available. But if they were asking you one day, identify your order, they give you dosage, they give you available, they give you quantity, but you are looking for your order. In that moment, you know, dosage times available equal order times quantity. If the question was for you to find your order, well, then we will have to divide both sides by quantity because we need to isolate order by itself. By dividing both sides by quantity, that quantity is going to cancel out. So your order, if they ask you to identify your order is going to be dosage multiplied by available divided by quantity. Mr. Z, do I have to memorize those formulas? No. If you just know one formula, the other way, if you know here you are looking for your dosage, over there you're looking for your order, it will be much easier for you. In this case, we are solving for your dosage. All right? So we're looking for volume. How many volume we're going to give? All right, so let's do it together. So which one is your order? 250 milligram. Which one is your available? Your available, it's 125. Which one is your quantity? It's 5 ml. We say before you do anything, make sure the unit for your order and the unit for your available, they have to be within the same unit. They gotta be the same. If they are not the same, you have to change them. So question number 1, you will do what? Let's do it together. Get your calculator. What you got? Good job. So you're gonna get the 250 milligram multiplied by 5 ml, divide that by what? By 125 milligram. Milligram and milligram, you will cancel out. Okay? Get your calculator. You have on number 1, you will have 10 milliliter. Let's look at number 2. Your order is 600 milligram. Your available is 300 milligram. And that right there is your quantity. So which one you're going to do? How many milliliter you're going to do? So you will do 600 milligram. Well, multiply that by 10 milliliter. Divide that by 300 milligram. That milligram and that milligram, it will cancel out. So do your thing. All right. So we're going to have a 600 multiplied by 10 divided by 300. So you have 20 milliliter. But also remember, if you do the other way, your order divided by concentration, it means what? You're going to have 300 divided by 10, which is your concentration. It gives you what? 300 divided by 10, it gives you 30. And when you do 600 divided by 30, you're still going to get 20. I just want you to know both sides. All right. So next one, your order is 750 milligram. That is your order. 250 that you are available. That one is your quantity. Once again, make sure that milligram and that one match. Okay. So by doing like that, all right. So you will have on number 3, you will have a 750 milligram multiply by 5 milliliter divided by 250. All right, you know, so far your answer is going to be 15, regardless which way you do. Times 5 divided by 250. So on number 3, you will have a 15 milliliter. Go ahead and do number 4. I'm going to set up a timer. I told you it's going to be interactive. So I'm going to set up a timer for, let's say, let's give you about 30 seconds. Let me set up a timer for 30 seconds. All right, let's set up a timer for 30 seconds. All right, let's go. All right, you got 30 seconds to solve this. 30 seconds. Remember, practice makes perfect. You got it? You got it? Keep going, keep going. Keep going. All right, time is up. Time is up, dear friend. So which one you answer? All right, good job, good job. But let me tell you something before I solve that one. This expression right there, you see they put 1 ml because they want to tell you that the quantity is 1 ml. They're not always going to express 1 ml over there. It can be 25. They can do like this, 25 milligram slash milliliter. You have to know that when they put a milliliter, your quantity is 1. Some places they can put 1 ml, but they're not always going to put 1 ml for you because they know whenever they put milliliter, the quantity is 1. All right? So, which one you do over there? Your order is 125, available 25, quantity is 1. So you will do 125 milligram multiply by quantity, which is 1 ml, divide that by 125 milligram. And when you do that 125 times 1 is 125 divided by 25, your answer is 5 milliliter. All right? All right. I hope you have, just remember, sometimes you will have to find the quantity of tablets. How many tablets would you give? But sometimes you will have to utilize infusion rate. We're gonna learn that one day. And sometimes you're gonna will have to inject some quantity of medication. All right. How many milliliter of that medication will you have to draw in this range, and so you can inject them. All right. Those are something that we will learn that. How can you avoid some error, dear friend? Please double check. Always review your calculation. Those are the men that you're going to give to read people. If the doctor wants you to prescribe, the doctor prescribe 325 milligram, and you have only 650, my dear friend, you got to learn how to do that. All right? So don't forget that one. So, and anytime you are solving for medication, remember, you always solve for single dose. Always solve for single dose. Regardless of the frequency, always solve for single dose. Now, if they ask you what would you give in 24 hours or what would you give per day, that's when you're going to get your single dose multiplied that by frequency. We're going to learn that today as well. Always double check your calculation. Double check. Check. Verify your unit. I told you, if we go back there, as I told you, always make sure the doctor prescribed a 250 milligram. Make sure that the unit right there for 250 milligram and for 125 are within your order and the available. They have to be within the same unit. If the order is in a gram or microgram and the available is in a milligram, you have to convert either microgram to milligram or do milligram to microgram. They have to be within the same unit before you can go apply your formula, dear friend. All right, so don't forget, double check your calculation. If you are not so good, we do a mental calculation. Please get yourself a calculator. Get yourself a nice and a good one. If you do not know how to do mental calculation, use your calculator to minimize any risk of commit med error. Verify unit, as we talk about. Ensure that you are using the correct unit for both the medication. All right, whatever the doctor has prescribed, the available and the order. Okay. All right. Let's do interactive quiz. Question number 1. You got 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead. The doctor ordered 1,000 milligram. The available is a 500 milligram in 5 ml. What will be the quantity would you give? A, B, C, D. What will be the answer? All right, time is up. Time is up. Time is up. All right, good job. So you will give 10 milliliter. All right, let's go. Question number 2. You got 30 seconds. The doctor prescribed a 750 milligram. The available is 255 ml. Time is up. Time is up. Time is up. Why the answer? 15. No. That's B. All right. Good job. All right, so let's do some knowledge validation. We're probably going to have 25 or 30 questions. We can do it together. All right, remember I told you earlier, anytime you're solving for dosage calculation, you always solve for single dose. Either they tell you or not, it's always single dose. The only time you will worry about the frequency, it's whenever they ask you what would you solve for per day or in the 24 hours. All right, that's when you will solve that one by per day multiplied by frequency. Let's look at number one. Before we do anything, we double check that milligram and that one, they're the same. Good job. So amoxicillin 500 milligram. This is my order. So you know that one, it's your order. You see that PO per mouth. TID means 3 times a day. Available is 250 milligram. Your quantity is 5. The question is, what would you give per day? Remember, anytime you solve, you always solve for single dose. But the question is not single dose. The question is, what would you give per day? It means in the 24 hours. If the doctor prescribes 325 milligram tablet 3 times a day, one single dose, you are giving one tablet, 325 milligram. TID, it means 3 times a day. In the 24 period, that person is going to get how many tablets? 3 tablets. Now, if they ask you how many milligram this person is going to get in the 25 day, in the 24 hours, in the one day. But since this person is getting 350, let's say 325 milligram TID, well, multiply by 3, that person is going to get 975 milligram in 24-hour period. All right. So how do you solve per day? Step number 1, you have to solve for single dose. Do your calculation as you're going to do. Step number 2, you're going to get your single dose, multiply that by frequency. So do not assume anytime you see BID, TID, QID, you have to multiply your answer by that. No, the only time you will multiply the answer by frequency is only time they ask you what would you solve in a 24-hour period or per day or any other let us say, what would you give in the 72 hours? What would you give in the 48 hours? What would you give per day? That's how you multiply according to labor frequency. All right. So single dose for that one is going to be what? Well, number 1 is going to be your order, which is 500 milligram multiplied by 5 ml divided by 250 milligram. All right. Milligram, you cancel out. You have 500 multiplied by 5 divided by 250. So your single dose, it's a 10 milliliter. But remember, they are not asking you for a single dose. They are asking you, what would you give per day? All right. Since a single dose is 10 milliliter, and this patient is taking that TID, it means 3 times a day, we will have to multiply a single dose by 3 to find what this person is going to get per day, which is 30 milliliter. All right. Number 2, sugar 200 milligram. That is your order. That is your available. That is your quantity. Well, you're going to have your order, which is going to be what? 200 milligram. You make sure they are within the same thing. Multiply that by 5 milliliter. And whatever you get answer, you gotta divide that by available, which is 100 milligram. So let's go 200 multiply by 5. All right, divide by 100. You have 10 milliliter. All right, good job. Who has a question? All right, let's go back there. Let's look at number 6. Now, think about this. In number 6, you have a BID here. But over there, you're looking per dose. Do not think because you see a frequency, you have to multiply your answer by the frequency at the end. No, 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 no. The only time you're going to do that, it's whenever they ask you what would you give per day. That's where you multiply by frequency. If they do not ask you what would you give per day, do not worry about the frequency. All right. So like on number 6, this right here, that is your order. That one is your available. That one is your quantity, milligram match. So you will do what? You're gonna do your order, which is 30 milligram. All right, multiply by quantity, which is 5. Well, divide that by available, which is 15 milligram. In case you forget, dosage equal order times quantity divided by available. Your order, the doctor prescribed prednisolone 30 milligram, that is your order. We will already learn your quantity expressed by milliliter. For any liquid form of medication, for any solid form of medication, quantity is 1. And then your available, it's a 15 milligram. All right, we talk about that. Available and the quantity goes together. That gives you a concentration. You got the available dissolved in some kind of a milliliter that give you concentration. So you're going to have a 30 times 5, all right, divided by 15. You have a 10 milliliter. All right, let's look at number 7. Number 7, we got 500 milligram. We got 125, we got 5. But remember, we are looking per day. So our answer at the end, you have to multiply by frequency of TID. All right, so don't forget, BID, it means 2 times a day. TID, it means 3 times a day. QID, it means 4 times a day. Every 4 hours, it means 6 times a day. Every 6 hours, it means 4 times a day. Every 8 hours, it means 3 times a day. And then every 12 hours, it means 2 times a day. All right, so don't forget that. The only difference between BID 2 times a day and the Q 12 hours, BID 2 times a day, yes, it means 2 times a day. Q 12 hour, yes, it means 2 times a day, but the only difference with the Q 12 hour, it's so precise. You can give that medication only after 12 hours. While BID, well, I can do every 12 hours, or I can do after 6 hours, as long as I'm giving that twice a day. But Q12 hour, it's very precise. Same concept with the QID, and then every 6 hours. Every 6 hours mean, yes, it's 4 times a day, but you're giving that medication after every 6 hours. While QID is 4 times a day, but it does not mean that I have to give it that every 6 hours. I can give one in the morning by 8, another one at noon, another one at 4, another one at 8 p.m. All right? Or I can do one in the morning by 8, another one, I can do that around 11, and 5, and 9 p.m. So it depends. It depends on your company policy. So number 7, all right, get your calculator. So you're going to do what? Well, you're going to have your order, which is 500 multiplied by available quantity, which is 5 ml. Your answer you get, you have to divide that by available, which is 125 milligrams. So which one you have? You have 500 times 5 milliliter. All right. Let's make sure you got 125 times 5. Divide that by 500 milligrams. That is your order. My bad. That is your order. Multiply by 5. All right. Now divide that by available, which is 125. You have 20 milliliter. But we're not going to stop there because they ask you what would you give per day. Anytime they ask what would you give in the 24 hours or what would you give per day, that's when you look at the frequency. Or if they ask what would you give in the 2 dose or 3 dose, multiply your single dose by 2 or by 3. If they ask what would you give in the 48 hours, in 72 hours, multiply your frequency to match your 72 hours. Here we got per day. Well, TID per day, it means what? It means 3 times a day. So we multiply this one here by 3. And once we do that, you will have a 60 milliliter. All right, let's look at number 8. Always milligram match, that is your quantity. All right, so you're going to do 50 milligram, that is your order, multiply by quantity, which is 5 milliliter, divide that by available, which is 12.5 milligram. Remember, you always solve for single dose. Now you got 50 milligram, multiply that by quantity, which is 5, divided by 12.5. So you will have get what? How many? 20 milliliter. You're not going to multiply by QID because nobody asked you to do that. They ask you what would you administer. If they say per dose, it means a single dose, but they do not have always to tell you what would you give per dose. They can say how many milliliters will you administer? That's it. Either they say per dose or they did not say, it's always gonna be a single dose. Let's look at number 9. We are solving per day. All right. All right, go ahead and do number 9 for me. I'm gonna do a timer. Remember, number 9 and 10, you are solving per day. Same thing per day, and in 24 hours, that's the same thing. Let's go, 30 seconds. Good job, you got the hang of it. All right. Number 9. Time is up, time's up, time's up, time's up. Ara, how many milliliters would you give? 15? No. 15, it's a single one. It's a single dose. But the question was per day. So you have to multiply by frequency. So the answer is going to be 45. Oh, but Mr. Z, solve that for us. Yes, I heard you. So you got your order is what? 300. You multiply that by what? By your quantity, which is 5 ml. Divide that by available. Your available is what? 100 milligram. Milligram and milligram, you cancel out. So when you do that 300 times 5 divided by 100, you have 15 ml. But they ask what would you give per day? So you will multiply that by your frequency, which is TID, multiply by 3, and you will have a 45 milliliter. Let's look at number 10. You got 30 seconds. Let's go. You have 30 seconds. It's the same concept. What would you give in 24 hours? Well, I'll go ahead and add you another 30 seconds. I give you another 30 seconds. Look at on the bottom of your screen. I explained to you Q6 hour mean what? Q6 hours. It's you gotta identify if you're giving something every 6 hours, it's how many times a day. It does not mean you have to multiply that by 6. You're not multiplying that by 6. Oh, time is up now. Time is up. No. Time is up. No, time is up. Yeah, time's up. Good job. Time is up. Yeah, time is up. Time is up. So now you got Q6 hour. It means what? Q6 hour means 4 times a day. Same concept. You will do 15. You make sure that that milligram and that one that we did the same thing. So you will do the same concept, which is your odor, which will be 15 milligram multiplied by quantity. Multiply that by quantity. Your quantity is what? Is 5 milliliter. Correct? The answer you got, you're going to divide that by available, which is 5 milligram. Once you do that, you will have 15 milliliter. This is a single dose, but they ask you what would you give in a 24 hour. You can get yourself mixed up by Q6 hours. Q stands for every 6 hours. So every 6 hours in the 24 hours, it's 4 times a day. You will give it that 4 times. So now you're going to multiply this right here by 4. And once you do that, well, in the case you do not know 15 times 4 equals 60, go ahead and use your calculator. So you got 60 milliliter. All right, let's do more exercise. Knowledge validation. The doctor prescribed a 600 milligram TID. Available is a 200 milligram tablet. How many tablets would you administer per dose, and what would you give per day? So I want you to identify the answer. What would you give per dose? And what would you give per day? All right, let's go. 30 seconds. The answers, I've already given you the answer, but just do it. Now, this is a tablet. What did we say? For any tablet, the quantity always going to be 1. Don't forget that. But Mr. Z, I don't see no milliliter. Nobody's asking you milliliter here. It's a tablet. They ask you a tablet. We talk about that. Solid form of medication, capsule, something like that. Anytime you're solving for tablet or capsule, the quantity always going to be 1. But when you're solving for milliliter, the quantity is going to be expressed by ml. In that case, you know, this is that one, it's your odor, and that one, it's your available. You got to make sure milligram and milligram, you check them off. If this was a milligram, over there was a microgram, you will have to convert. So in this case, my dosage, as you know, equal odor divided by available. Well, your odor is 600 milligram divided by 200 milligram. That milligram you cancel. So it's going to be 600 divided by 2. It's going to be 3. So you're going to give 3 tablets. This one going to give 3 tablets. That's what you're going to give per dose. But in the 24 hours, since it's a TID, you're going to get per dose, your single dose, 3 tablets, multiply that by 3 because it's a 3 times a day. One time, a single dose, 3 tablets. Second time, you're going to be 3 tablets that give you 6. The third time, another 3 tablets. Total together will give you 9 tablets. So in a 24-hour period, this person will consume 9 tablets. All right? All right. Let's do some of exercise. And that's where we're going to stop today. All right? All right. So let's look at number 21. Oder amoxicillin 500 milligram POTID. Available is a 250 milligram slash 5 ml. How many milliliter per dose would you give? Remember, they do not have to tell you per dose. Remember that. They do not have to. If they do per dose because they love you, they can say how many milliliter would you administer. That's it. Just know anytime you solve for a dosage calculation, you always do for single dose. The only time you're going to multiply that by frequency when they ask you what would you give per day. Or number 1, so which one's your order? It's 500 milligram. That is your order right there. That is your available, and that is your quantity. We know dosage equal order times quantity divided by available. Or number 21, I've already checked my unit. They are good. So I'm going to have a 500 milligram. Your quantity is 5 ml. We've already learned that quantity expressed by milliliter. Well, you're going to divide that by 250. You know that one and that one you will cancel out. You know, multiplication can go either way. I can do 500 divided by 250. I got 2 times 5. So the answer right there is going to be 10 milliliter. Or you can do, as you know, you can do 500 times 5, which is 250, divided by, which is 2,500 divided by 250. You know, so you got 500 times 5, which is a 2,500. When you divide that by 250, you will get a 10 milliliter. All right. Multiplication can go either one. 10 milliliter is a single dose. But Mr. Ziba, why we did not multiply that by frequency of TID? It's because they're asking you per dose. The only time you will do that whenever they ask you what would you give per day. All right. But remember, they don't have to tell you per dose. They don't have to. It means how many milliliter will you administer? But Mr. Z, they don't say per day. They don't say per dose. How am I going to know if I'm giving per day, if I'm giving per dose? I told you already. Anytime you solve it for dose calculation, you always solve for single dose. Unless they ask you, what would you give in the 2 dose or 3 dose per day, 72 hours, whatever it is. But just know, anytime you solve for a dosage calculation, you solve for a single dose. Get yourself a cup of coffee. We're almost at the end. I said the goal today was at the end. You have to be able to solve simple dosage calculation using a simple dosage calculation formula, which is dosage equal order. All right. Sometimes they're called order as need, or what you're looking for, need. All right. Multiply by quantity. Sometimes they're called a volume divided by available. Some book they'll call available as have. What you have, they will say it's going to be dosage equal need, or what you're looking for, multiplied by volume, divided by hand, what you have in your hand. Available is what you have in your hand. That's why they say available. But if something is not available, it means you do not have that. You know, if you got $500 available in your bank, it means you have 500. You're not looking for it, you have that. You agree? You have that. Get yourself a cup of coffee. We're almost at the end. Let's look at number 22. You got 30 seconds. Do number 22 for me. Good job. Let's go. 400 milligram of BID. How many tablets per dose? Nobody's telling you what would you give per day. And I told you, anytime you're solving for tablet, your quantity always going to be 1. You make sure that your order and your available, they are within the same thing. So in this case, what you have, the doctor prescribed ibuprofen 400 milligrams. The doctor say, give 400 milligrams. All right, time is up, time is up. The doctor say, give a baby 400 milligrams. But available, what you have in your hand is only 200 milligrams. But if I have only 200 milligrams, I gotta give 400 milligrams. Don't you think you gotta give her 2 tablets of for 200 milligrams? Right? Yeah, that's it. That's it. You got it. So this right here, it's your order. That right there, it's your available. So you're gonna do dosage equal order times quantity divided by available. So your order is what? 400 milligrams. I told you quantity always going to be 1. If it's a capsule, 1 capsule. If it's a tablet, 1 tablet. Divided by available, which is 200 milligrams. Milligram, cancel. The answer you're going to have is going to be 2 tablets. Let's look at number 23. The doctor prescribed 650 milligrams. Available, I have a 325 milligram. Milligram and milligram, they are together. Well, I will have what? Your order is going to be 650 milligram multiplied by 1 tablet divided by 325 milligram and milligram. You cancel out. You have a 650 divided by 325. You will have 2 tablets. Let's look at number 24. I got milligram and milligram. They are together. Good job. We are looking per dose. They don't have to tell you per dose. You know you always solve for single dose. I got 600 milligram. That is your order. That one is your available. This is your quantity. We say about it. Anytime you have a concentration, it goes together, available and or milliliter. Those here are your constant, your available quantity. So 200 milligram of 5 ml make what we call a concentration. So 200 milligram is your available, 5 milliliter is your quantity. For any liquid form of medication, the quantity is expressed by milliliter. So on that one, well, you're gonna have 600 milligram multiplied by your quantity, which is 5 milliliter, divided that by available, which is 200 milligram. This milligram and that milligram, you will cancel out. You can do 600 divided by 200 is 3, times 5 is 15, or you can do 600 multiplied by 5. It gives you 3,000. You divide now by 200. You have 15 milliliters. So the answer will be 15 milliliters. But Mr. Ziba, why we don't multiply by 2? It's because you're solving for single dose. If the question was, what would you give in a 24-hour, or what would you give per day? That's when you're going to get the 15 milliliter, multiply that by BID, which is 2 times a day, it will give you 30. But in this case, they did not. Number 25. Dear friend, in 25, you are looking for what? How many capsules would you give per days? Remember, you were dealing with tablet. Now you have capsule. Same concept. The quantity is going to be 1. We are looking per days. We got QID. Your single answer you're going to get at the end, you're going to multiply that by 4. So my thing is going to be my order, which is going to be 1,000 milligram. Milligram, they are the same. Multiply by 1 capsule. That is your quantity. Divide by 500 milligram. milligram and milligram, you cancel out. I will have 2 capsules. But we are looking per day. If you end right there, not good. Before you do anything, read the entire, circle what you're looking for. You know you're looking for per day, so we'll have to multiply your single answer by the frequency. My single answer is 2 cups. My frequency is 4 times a day. You know, QID means 4 times a day. I will multiply that one by 4. So I will have 8 capsules. All right. Let's do more exercise. Let's look at number 26. Which one the doctor ordered? 500 milligram. All right. Now, they say 500 milligram vial to be diluted with 10 milliliters of sterile water. This is anytime they have what they call a reconstitution of medication. The only attention you need here is to look at your final concentration. Sometimes whenever they dilute a medication, and the concentration may end up to change. As you can say, your final concentration here, it's 50 milligram in 5 ml. But if you know 500 milligram diluted in a 10 milliliter is the same thing as a 50 milligram in 1 ml. Sometimes the final concentration change, sometimes it does not. So this one here, that is your order. That one is your available. This is your quantity. All right. So you will know dosage equal order times quantity divided by available. I keep repeating this so it can sink in. So which one is your order? You've already identified they are within the same units. 500 milligram multiplied by quantity. Which one is your quantity? Your quantity is right there. It's a 1. I told you, they're not always going to write 1 ml, but you know the quantity is 1 divided by available. Your available is a 50 milligram. As you know, that milligram, you cancel out. 500 divided by 50. So you have a 10 milliliter. Number 27. The doctor prescribed 1 gram. Good job. That is your order. Now, the concentration you have, it's available 100 milligram and quantity it's 1. Remember, I told you earlier, before you do anything, you gotta make sure the unit match. Your order is 1 gram, the available is 100 milligram. I gotta do both sides. Either if you love to do multiplication, well, you have to convert 1 gram to match a milligram. As you know, 1 gram equal how many milligram? That's why I told you earlier in the beginning, this session right there was for anyone that already learned dosage calculation in the class, been years ago, or that person just need a quick refresh. We're not teaching you here how to learn about the conversion. You have to know conversion. Metric system. You have to know them. How to go from one system to the other one. 1 gram equal how many milligram? All right, 1 gram equal 1,000 milligram. So you have to convert your order to milligram. Why? Because my available is in the milligram, my order is in the gram. Or you can leave your order in the gram and go ahead convert your available. Go ahead, convert your available in a gram. Convert your available in a gram. And once you do that, you convert your available in a gram, you're going to have 100 milligram divided by 1,000, you will get to 0.1 gram. So we're going to solve this with two shapes, two ways. We're going to use when everything is in a milligram and when everything is a gram. So when everything is in a milligram, I'm going to have 100 milligram. That right there, it's your odor multiplied by quantity, which is 1 divided by available. Your available is 100 milligram. So once you do that, you have 1,000 divided by 100. Your answer is going to be 10 milliliter. All right, 10. Or we can leave everything in a gram. In that case, your available that was 100 milligram, you have to convert to that to gram. And once we convert 100 milligram to gram, it's 0 gram. So you're going to have your odor, which is going to be 1 gram multiplied by quantity, which is 1 milliliter, divided by available, which is 0.1 gram. And once you do that, gram and gram, you cancel out. You'll have 1 divided by 0.1. The answer still will be 10 milliliter. So please understand, you figure out which way you want to keep your unit. If you got, like here, we got gram and milligram, you can either convert your order to match the available or convert your available to match the gram. Regardless of which way you do it, you have to remember how to properly convert something from one unit to the other one. Let's look at number 28. Your order is 250 milligram. All right. Now they say available, it's 1 gram vial. But the 1 vial gram, when it has been reconstituted, it gives what? 250 ml. So that is your final, after reconstitution, that is your final concentration. So that is your available. That one is your quantity. So you will do 250 milligram multiplied by your quantity, which is 2 ml, divided by available, which is 250 milligram. That milligram, it will cancel. 250 by 250 give you 1. It will give you 2 milliliter. Let's look at number number 29. All right. So I'm gonna let you do number 29. Mr. Z, but million, it's the same concept. Medication can be expressed in a milligram, it can be expressed in a microgram, gram, unit. So your order, some medication are expressed in unit. So here, your order, you have it what? You got 2.4 million units. 2.4 million. It means 60. That's unit. That's your order. Anytime your medication is expressed in a unit or milli equivalent, you will never gonna worry about that too much. So I got 1, you're available now. Your quantity is what? 1 milliliter. And your available is 1.2 million units. That unit and that unit, you're gonna cancel out. That's not 6, that's 0. So you know this 6 is 0 right there, and those 6 is 0, you'll cancel out too. So your answer, you got 2.4 times 1, which is 2.4 divided by 1.2. You have 2 milliliter. Use your calculator, dear friend. All right, so let's do the rest of this thing right here, and we will leave you alone. I wanted to save this at the end. Sometimes some medication will be prescribed based on the body weight. It's the same concept that we just learned. I will do a specific video on this way here, but let us introduce this thing. The doctor prescribed acetaminophen is a 15 milligram per kilogram. It's the same concept just we did. The only difference now, this medication is based on the body weight. It means for any person that weighs 1 kilogram, this person is going to get a 15. But anytime they give you your weight, that weight must be in the kilogram. If that weight is in the pound, you will have to divide that pound by 20 to convert that to kilogram and multiply. So step number 1 is to get this kilogram multiplied to over there. The weight in the kilogram. That's step number 1. So step number 1, you're going to get your order multiplied by the weight, because you need the order to be according to this person's weight. But that weight must be in the kilogram. My weight is in the kilogram, so I'm good. So I'm going to have a 15, look at it, 15 milligram per, it means division, per kilogram. And when I multiply that by 20 kilogram, that kilogram, it will cancel out. Now, you have a 15 times 20. You have your new order now is a 300 milligram. Now, they ask you that now this is now your new order. That one is your available, and that one is your quantity. So you will do now 300 milligram multiplied by quantity, which is a 5 ml, divided that by 160. So you got 300 times 5 divided by 160. You got 9.375 milliliter. Well, if they ask you to round, well, you go ahead, round that to the nearest tenth, depending. They can tell you round your answer to the nearest tenth or to the nearest 100 or something like that. All right? But, you know, sometimes some syringe, they can go up to the tenth, or it can go up to 100. So if they say round this to the nearest tenth, the answer is going to be 9.4 milliliter. How, Mr. Z, does not make sense? Yeah, but think about it. When you go to store, you go buy those you go buy the fruit, okay? You go buy those fruit, and they say we are selling this fruit right there per pound. All right? What do you usually do? If you buy something in the store, it has been sold by pound, what do you do? You gotta take whatever you have. If they say whatever you buy to buy, the grapefruit, grapefruit, the green one, and they say this is we're selling this per pound. They say 1 pound, and let's say it's $2. You have to get whatever you have. You go put that on the scale. If we give you 3 pounds, well, you're gonna get the 3 pound times $2. You're not gonna pay $2, because $2 is for 1 pound. But your grapefruit weigh 3 pounds. So they will do 3 times 2, 6. Same concept here. For the person that weigh 1 kilogram, we give him 15 milligram. That is a medication that is prescribed based on the body weight. We learned that in the beginning. Some medications based on the age, is based on the body weight, based on the available, the concentration, and stuff like that. This medication is based on the body weight. That's why when you go see a doctor, they want you how much do you weigh. Get on that scale. So we know how much, what is your weight, so we can know exactly how many milligrams they will give to you. So in this case, I got one person, when the person weigh 1 kilogram, we give 15 milligrams. But this person right there weigh 20 kilograms. So we need to get the person that weighs 1 kilogram will give 15. The person that weighs 2 kilograms will give 30. If you weigh 3 kilograms, we'll give 45. If you go 4, we'll give 60. Same concept, my dear friend. So the person that gets the 20, you multiply by the value of the weight. You need to find the order according to that person's weight, which is a 20 kilogram. You do 15 times 20, it gives you 300. Now you have what that person is supposed to get according to his weight. Now do your thing. Your new order is 300 milligram multiplied by quantity, which is 5. The available is 160. Let's look at number 31. What would you do? Step number 1. What is the order? The order according to this person's body weight. What would you do? There we go. So you're going to do 50 milligram. With time, you may not need to be writing this per kilogram because you know it's the same. Multiply by 20 kilogram. That kilogram, you cancel out. You got 50 times 20. You have 1,000. This is what this person is going to get according to the weight. Okay? That is the new order. So you're going to get the new order 1,000 multiplied by quantity, which is 5 ml divided by 250 milligram. That milligram will cancel out. Now you got 1,000 times 5 divided by 250. Now you will have 20. But we're not done yet. But remember, this thing right here, they say it was divided in 2 divided those. So at the end, you divide that by 2. So this person is going to get 10 milliliters. Mr. Z, this not make no sense. Let's go back. They say 50 milligram per day in 2 divided dose. We are solving for single dose. So whenever we are giving a 50 milligram times 20, we got 1,000 milligram per day. But they also say in a 2 divided dose, I can divide this thing right there by 2. So your order is going to be 500 milligram. So when you do 500 times 5 divided by 250, you will get 10 milliliters. If they did not say in 2 divided doses, well, the answer is going to be 20. But because they say in the 2 divided dose, that's why you divide that by that one. Let's look at here. You got 10 milligram per kilogram PO. We're not going to use this right here because we're solving a single dose. You got 15 kilogram. So remember, if your weight was in a pound, you would have to convert that to kilogram first by dividing the pound by 2.2. So let's say 15 times 2.2. If the weight, instead of 15 kilogram, it was 33 pounds. You will have to divide this by 2.2 for you to get 15 kilogram. Don't forget, if your weight is already in a kilogram, you multiply directly. But if the weight was in a pound, you divide that by 2.2 for you to get a kilogram. From pound to kilogram, you will divide by 2.2. If you have to go from kilogram to pound, from pound to kilogram, you divide by 2.2. All right? Now, the other way around, to go from a kilogram to pound, that's why you will multiply that one by 2.2. All right? So don't forget that one, dear friend. All right. So that's in that case, you're going to get now 10 milligram times 15. You have 150. 150 milligram is your new order according to that person's body weight. You multiply that one by 5 by quantity, divide that by available, which is 100 milligram. milligram cancel out. Times 5 divided by 100. 7.5. Do not round situation like this, because in your syringe, you can draw 7.5 milliliter. The only time you round, if you cannot draw that exact amount, you need to run to the nearest close that's the amount. Number 33, you got 14 milligram per kilogram per day in one dose. Now I got 10 kilogram, I got available, I got my old. That is your available, that is your quantity. This is right there is your odor based on the body weight. You gotta multiply by 10 kilogram. And your new odor, it will become 140 milligram. All right, so your dosage, odor, times quantity divided by available is gonna be your odor 140 multiplied by quantity, which is 5 ml, divided by 125 milligram. That you'll cancel out, so you got 140 times 5 divided by 125. So you got 5.6 milliliter. Do not round this unless you have been told to round it, because you can actually draw 5.6 milliliter from a syringe. Any question? So I'm so happy because we were here in the beginning. I said today's goal was at the end, you will understand the basic principle of dosage calculation, which is essential for accurate medication administration. And I say again, you're going to learn the standard formula to solve dosage calculation, which is your odor times quantity divided by available. I'm so happy because it was a journey. As I told you earlier, this is where people come to learn. It's not a place where someone comes for quick tutoring video and leave and go. Right here, we come to learn. I'm glad that you have learned. If you need more exercise, click on the link below in the description box. All right? In the description box, you're going to see a link right there that will take you to almost additional 50 exercise. I may even put two links below, two that will take you to different exercises, almost like 80 or 85, more than 50 exercise where you can practice. Remember, dear friend, practice make perfect. You cannot learn math, you cannot learn dosage calculation by just scanning through. Yes, you can scan through if you've already mastered this skill. Dear friend, it's critical for you to know how you can solve dosage calculation, because you do not want to kill someone. Why dosage calculation matter? Number one, patient safety. If the doctor prescribes Tylenol 325 milligram, and you have only Tylenol, the doctor prescribed 325 milligram, and the only medication you have in your hand is 650, you have to know what you have to do. You have to know how to apply those simple stuff that we have learned. I hope you enjoy. I hope you understand. Medication error matters. A lot of people die because of med error. If you give someone a wrong medication, you can kill someone. Please, as you are
learning to become a nurse or you've been a nurse for years, please remember, list one mistake. It can take someone's life away. You do not want to be that nurse that will get someone's life away. Practice make perfect. It may be the least subject for you in a nursing field, but remember, you will encounter medication every single day. What if the baby or the kid body weight is 10 kilogram, but the medication say give only 5 milligram per kilogram, but this kiddos is 10 kilogram. You know the doctor has to prescribe a 50 milligram because he say 5 milligram per kilo of body weight, but the baby is the child is 10 kilogram. But instead of a 50 milligram, the doctor went ahead and prescribed a 5,000. You didn't pay attention because the doctor made a mistake. You went ahead and gave that child 5,000 milligrams of that medication. You have given that medication 100 times. Before you know it, the baby is in ICU and the baby died. Remember this. Anytime you carry over an order the doctor prescribed, if the order was unsafe, you went ahead and prescribed and gave it, you are liable as the person that have prescribed that medication. Oh, but Mr. Z, I'm not the one that prescribed, that's the doctor. It's not because the doctor prescribed something that is unsafe. It means you have to give it. That's why doctor learn about pharmacology. Even though the pharmacology the doctor learned, it go down in the very depth knowledge. But when it comes to those basic knowledge, what the doctor learned and what you are learning in pharmacology, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. The doctor learned about the recommended dose. You are learning about the recommended dose. The doctor have learned the medication based on the body weight. You learn the medication based on the body weight. It's not the doctor. They have come up with the idea, this medication we have to give 10 milligrams of body weight. People have made a lot of researches, and through the Food Drug Administration, they have decided, according to, based on this medication, since this medication is based on the body weight, this is the recommended dose for that medication. If you give something that the doctor prescribed, knowing that it's wrong, you are as well, my friend, liable. That's why today, our goal was for you to learn the dosage calculation, understand, all right, how to manipulate, how to solve those medications based on the simple body weight. Please invite your friend, they are struggling. You know your friend, they've been in the nursing school for years, they cannot pass the med surg, the pharmacology, invite them. This is where we learn. You know someone out there that's struggling with a simple dosage calculation, invite them. This was a full comprehensive for a simple dosage calculation using a simple dosage formula of order times quantity divided by available. If I have a time, I will come back another day where I'm going to teach you now how you can solve simple dosage calculation without knowing no formula. This is what we call dimension analysis. The good thing about dimension analysis, you do not have to memorize no formula. You just have to line up everything. So at the end, those different units has to be canceled, and you can be left only with a single unit that you are looking for. Until the next time, be blessed. Do not forget, take care of yourself. Sometimes We spend a lot of time taking care of patients, but we do not have time to take care of ourselves. If take care of yourself mean for you to go to watch a movie, or do it. If take care of yourself it means go out to eat, go do it. If that means travel, do it. If that means like myself, I gotta be on the cruise, go on the cruise. Take care of yourself. You cannot take care of other resident if you do not take care of yourself. After now you take care of yourself, do not forget to take care of each other. This is our community supposed to be. I take care of myself and I take care of people that are near me. I take care of my community. Do not forget to invite your friend to come learn. If you have any question, go ahead and put that in the comment section. I will answer your question. But do not forget, click the link in the description box for you to do a lot of exercise. Until the next time, God bless you. Bye-bye.